So here's a story that happened to me about, well, let's just say it was a long time ago. I was working as a security guard at Universal Studios here in Los Angeles. And I worked the graveyard shift. I was there for 4 years, and it was a great job. I mean, a guy like me being given the keys to a movie studio, I mean, literally the keys to a movie studio, to go on any stage, any office, anywhere. I could drive around in a golf cart, I could drive around in a car, I could go patrol. I was all over the place. I did this for 4 years. I worked on, a lot of big movies, Jurassic Park, Apollo 13, just too many to even remember. A lot of movies. Anyway, there was one night, it was a November night. It was just before the big holiday party. They had a party every year just before Christmas. And they decorated the New York Street location. Very festive, very, very cool. It was really a cool sight to see. It was really, really interesting. Anyway, so one night I was doing what they called a set watch, and I was on the back lot, and I was in one of the facades where they kept the decorations for the for dressing up the back lot. Lights, all sorts of fabrics, heavy equipment, you name it. So it was all inside this one facade. A facade being it's basically a building that looks like a real building, but you go inside and it looks like a big garage. It's just big empty space. But they keep a lot of equipment in there. So anyway, I was in there, and I was basically to keep an eye on all this stuff. A boring job, but you made it interesting. And so I'm in the facade. It's about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in there. It's a chilly night, a nice night, and so I decide to get some air at one point. I go outside. I go out onto the New York Street location, and this New York Street location, you've seen it in a million movies and TV shows. The most famous one for me is Dirty Harry. The beginning of Dirty Harry, when the bank robbers crash their car and the guy's lying on the ground, and he comes up and he does the whole thing with, "We'll do you, punk." That very famous scene. That's exactly where I was, in fact, in that facade on that street, right where that Dirty Harry sequence was filmed, among about a billion other TV shows and movies. So anyway, so I step outside, and, it's just a nice, chilly, clear night. And I'm standing on the street, and I look off to my left at the end of the street against another building facade. It's about roughly 50 feet away from me, and I see this black figure just standing there. Just a black figure, just an outline of a human form, just standing there. And I look at it, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And I look a little bit more, and whatever it is, or whoever it is not moving. So I turn slightly to my right, half turn, I get on my radio, my walkie-talkie, I call my security base, and I say, I've got a 602, which is a trespasser, possibly, and I need some backup. I turn back, and that call took me all of not even 10 seconds. I turn back, and whoever that was, or whatever that was gone. Not sure what to make of it. Could it have been a trespasser? Sure, I caught plenty of them back there. Could it have been a homeless person? Could it have been someone I worked with trying to scare me, because believe me, I used to do the same thing with the new hires. I would go out there and do something to get them, make sure they were awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. But a couple of patrols went out. We searched the area. Now, this is a large back lot, 400 and something acres. There's a lot of places to hide. I mean, a million places to hide. Anyway, they couldn't find anybody lurking around. And I never saw, whatever it was, I never saw it again that night, or I guess at any other time. So that was just weird. That was just one of a handful of very odd occurrences that happened to me on the back lot at Universal Studios. And I will tell you some more stories in future episodes. Thanks for listening.